So Marvel Avengers, which before they put all these unnecessary characters that nobody cares about, like Miss Marvel, who has like one of the lamest superpowers ever. Her arms can grow, even though that's basically Luffy's superpower from One Piece. Even though I've never seen One Piece, but I know that's like his main superpower because I've seen battles with him online. Avengers video game tanking with Miss Marvel. No surprise, but the Avengers video game is completely tanking, which features Miss Marvel and players are leaving in droves. And this is the problem with you, and this is gonna be the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're putting these characters like Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and all these garbage characters that nobody likes. Okay, sorry, all these characters that, again they have to put on now because the guy who plays Black Panther is dead. He died like a few months ago. Very sad, but yeah, things are so bad, seeing that there's been a whopping drop off from 16 K players in September, and now only 2K is so yeah, I saw that in the Fall Guys video. Yeah, the graphics of the art for the game are not supposed to be helping, as when fans put the game was supposed to put for trailers, there were a lot of fan backlash here. And for 4 points of the Marvel for Avengers video game has dipped so we over 1,000 players on PC, causing massive matchmaking parties of people who have to wait up for minutes to start to complete missions because nobody wants to play the game. And things are not much worse on the PS4, the largest gaming platform, besides, of course, PC and Steam. Even with immediately reported missions like we say in villain sectors, but allowed to get a full tier 4 or usually 1 or 2 players getting AI fill in. That means friends are not playing the game together. Marvel's Avengers is currently in limbo, and the developer Crystal Dynamics is seriously pushing back a number of roadmap objectives while simultaneously trying to fix all the game root and more root. The game needs fixes to those technical and endgame payment problems, but it's unknown the patches will be released, that has caused fewer and fewer players to return to play the game. And again, this game is about Miss Marvel, and nobody likes Miss Marvel. Nobody likes these characters, these new Avengers. Okay, Female 4 is one example. Okay, all these new Avengers that nobody likes, and this is going to be the replacement for all the Avengers that everybody likes. For Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, all the Avengers that people actually like are being replaced by characters that no one cares about, like Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. The new era of Avengers, basically, which is gonna be like the A-Force, which was a flop. But apparently they're still making a movie based out of it because they think, oh, but Twitter will go see the movie, even though they won't, and A-Force will bomb. And the MCU is gonna be dead because I won't be surprised if the MCU continues on dying, considering the fact that they're continuing to pander towards Twitter and continue to make movies for them, even though it has been proven many times from 2019 that Twitter does not buy movies. Let's look at Solid Angels. Let's look at Dark Phoenix. Let's look at Dark Fate. Let's look at Booksmart. Let's look at Birds of Prey, Black Christmas. There's so many examples of woke failures, and they continue making woke movies for Twitter. And I bet it'll take 4 or 5 years to Hollywood will recover because Hollywood will continue making woke movies and they'll continue taking it at the box office. Like one of the few movies that are probably going to reopen the box office, it's called The 355. And guess what it is? It's a woke pile of garbage movie that no one's going to see. And this is just the problem with Hollywood in a nutshell. They make these woke movies, no one wants to see them, and then they flop. And once they release Blu-ray, they sit on shelves, no one buys them. They also get dropped on VOD and Netflix. No one watches them either. Even if it's free, no one's gonna watch Booksmart. No one's gonna suffer for watching Hustlers and Booksmart, which was 2 movies that the critics popped up and called masterpieces, but nobody cared about them because nobody liked them. For example, Hustlers, you saw copies just sitting there on shelves in certain areas. I didn't really see it that much, but yeah, they were like hiding that movie so no one could see it. Same thing with Booksmart. You saw copies of Booksmart just sitting there because no one wanted to see Booksmart because nobody cares about these woke movies. Or the best example is Ghostbusters 2016 versus Ghostbusters at one of my local stores. I see like 1 copy of Ghostbusters the original and like 10 copies of 2016 remake. It shows how little it is. Or the original trilogy, of Star Wars and the prequels versus the sequels. You see tons of copies of the sequels just sitting there, not selling. The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, Rogue One is actually sold well. Solo, A Star Wars Story, and The Rise of Skywalker. And the same thing with Alita vs. Captain Marvel. There's like 1 or 2 copies of Alita, both Blu-ray and DVD. There's like 10 copies of Captain Marvel just sitting down, collecting dust because no one wants them. And the video game department, because they changed the video game department, there's like 10 to 15 copies. There's like 10 copies of The Last of Us Part 2. And every other game is like they're like selling out like when Ghost of Tsushima was out. This was when Ghost of Tsushima came out, like a few days after Ghost of Tsushima, I think, came out. There were 10 copies of Ghost of Tsushima, but obviously they must have recently stopped. But The Last of Us Part 2, wouldn't be surprised if that game isn't selling at all. And Ghost of Tsushima, they keep on restocking the game because it keeps selling out. I won't be surprised if Avengers is just saying that on shelves as well, like with The Last of Us Part 2, and, other garbage that nobody wants to buy, like Booksmart. This is where let's make a section with woke movies and non-woke movies and games, and see which ones sell more on Blu-ray. See which ones sell more. Put all the classics and put all the woke versions like Ocean's 8, Captain Marvel, put all that crap. And maybe that could actually send a message to Hollywood that nobody wants this. Man in Black versus International, the new old Star Wars versus the new Star Wars, the old X-Men versus Dark Phoenix. And you'll probably see that there'll be copies of Dark Phoenix staying on the shelves, and the older X-Men movies would be selling out because nobody wants to buy Dark Phoenix because it's a feminist pile of garbage. Same thing with Terminator 2 versus Dark Fate and any other woke pile of garbage. So, yep, Avengers the video game is tanking with Miss Marvel, which is not surprising because nobody likes Miss Marvel. So, that's basically it. Goodbye.